Good morning and welcome to All Things Marcellus with me, Attorney Doug Clark of the Clark Law Firm. I am located at 1563 Main Street in beautiful Peckville, Pennsylvania. And I am right here with you each and every week at this time on this station to bring you, the landowner, the information you need regarding natural gas development here in Pennsylvania. And of course, and as always, as it has always been and as it will always be, I, Doug Clark, have never, ever, never have, never will, ever represent a gas or pipeline company. Never have, never will, and I promise you that, as I promise each and every week. I won't do it. I don't care. They could pull the Brinks truck up, park at my driveway. We'll never, ever, ever work for a gas or pipeline company. I work for the landowner, the oil and gas right owner, for such things as lease negotiations, reviews, pipeline, water line agreements, reviews, consultations on any type of matter related to oil and gas, royalty issues, deductions, unitization, of course, pipelines, water lines, well site agreements. Well site agreements are very important today because companies aren't drilling like they planned on drilling when they first signed your lease. They're now drilling much longer wells, and I assure you that you almost certainly have leverage if they want to come put one of these multi-unit well pads on your property. Bottom line, stop signing. Pick up the phone, call me, call somebody, but we got to stop signing these agreements. And I'm going to tell you, and I'm going to talk about Tioga County today, and I'm going to tell you this too. It is a 3 blood pressure pill day. It is a 3 blood pressure pill day. So if you like that kind of show, stay here because I'll tell you, I was chomping at the bit to get to this microphone to talk today. I'm very disappointed in this whole situation, but I'm very excited to talk about it. And if you have anybody who you know is experiencing this type of situation, or you yourself, I'm telling you, listen to this show, go back, listen to it, give me a call, listen to this show. This is really important stuff. And you may say, well, all right, what's he going to talk about? Well, I'm going to tell you what I'm going to talk about. It's mostly going to be for Tioga County landowners, though this does occur other places. Nowhere does it occur like it does in Tioga County. And what is that? Well, you know it. You can probably say it with me. The shut-in wells. These vertical, non-producing, shut-in wells where people are getting year after year shut-in payments and not receiving gas royalties for leases signed between 2000, 2005. So we're talking about 15 to 20 years essentially with no gas royalties. That's wrong. Then we have groups of people that signed from 2005 to 2010. Again, 15 years, 10 years, no royalty payments. Instead, what do they have? An old beat up well site sitting out there, no pipeline connected in many cases, and no royalties, and sitting on, in many cases, 100 acres or more, or I don't care if it was 5 acres. That's not the deal, man. That's not the deal you cut. It's not what you were told, and it's not right. And in my opinion, in many cases, it's truly not legal. But if you sit there and you sit on your hands and you let yourself just receive these shut-in payments, you go and cash them, you receive them, so someday it'll happen. Look, you can do that or you can get proactive. And I'll tell you, we're being proactive. We are being proactive, and we're going to start filing more of these suits because this is wrong. And it can't continue. It cannot continue. You think about it. You as a landowner, think about what that landman who works for the company, not you, the landowner, said to you when you were signing your gas lease. Did they talk about, well, the way this lease is written, we could drill a vertical hole, then hold 600 acres of property, not produce any gas, not pay you any gas royalties, and year after year pay you $5 per acre of your lease or what is shut in, and just hold your lease forever? Did anyone tell you that? Of course not. Of course not. But what do we see? Well, we're seeing it all over the place. In Tioga County, I should say, because we are not. I take it back. We don't see it all over the place. We don't. And I'm gonna give you a little primer, and I'm gonna give you some more of these numbers. This is a printout, okay? This is unbelievable. This is unbelievable, and this is why I say this has to stop. And how's it gonna stop? Pick up the phone, give me a call. I want to hear if I can help you. If you have, again, and I'm going to talk all about this today. If you have over 100 acres and you've been shut in and you're not getting any gas royalties, but only a yearly shut-in payment, and you've been shut in for 8 years or more, call my office. I will do a free, no-cost evaluation of your lease, your history, drilling history, and then you can decide what you want to do from there, but you very well may have a claim to terminate your lease. And if you terminate your lease, imagine if you have 100 acres, and the going rate, let's say, is $2,000 an acre. You terminate your lease, you get a cash payment of $200,000. Also, you terminate your lease, you probably have an older lease at 12.5% royalty. If you're able to increase that to just 15%, that result, the 2.5% increase in the royalty from 12.5% to 15%, that actually results in 20% more cash royalties. The 2.5% increase in your lease, if you go from 12.5% to 15%, will give you 20% more royalty over the lifetime of the lease. So you have a new bonus to gain potentially, and imagine you have 400 acres. Well, that could be a new bonus of $800,000 potentially if you get $2,000 an acre, which we've seen in the area within the last year. So we got to do something about it unless you like getting these $5 per acre payments year after year after year. And I talked to a lot of people, and not one of them has said to me, no, I love this $5 payment. Who cares about the royalties? I get $5 an acre or per year for a shut-in. No one ever says that. Of course they don't. You're listening to All Things Marcellus with me, Attorney Doug Clark of the Clark Law Firm. Make sure you join me each and every week at this time on this station. So let me give you some numbers. Why am I so mad? Why is it a 3 blood pressure pill day? Why? Because it is kind of garbage, and it's wrong, and you don't see it anywhere like you see it in Tioga County. I have a map of these regulatory inactive well status when a company voluntarily places a well in regulatory inactive status. You should see the map of Pennsylvania. It's unbelievable. It's like, what the heck is going on in Tioga County? Why are there all these wells when they're not all over the place elsewhere? Well, I'll tell you why. Because the number one offender in my mind is a company called SWEPI LP. I know that may be a shock, but that's the number one offender. Why do I say that? Well, here's a printout in my hand from DEP Office of Oil and Gas Management, wells drilled by operator. This was printed on July 17th, 2019. Printed on July 17, 2019 from the DEP reporting website. So these are the DEP numbers. Why do I get upset? Well, let me give you an example. How many wells does SWEPI LP have placed voluntarily into regulatory inactive status? Inactive status. How many does SWEPI have? Well, would you say 5, 10, 15 maybe? Try this number. 137. SWEPI LP from the DEP Office of Oil Management, wells drilled by operator, report of 7/17/2019, July 17, 2019, SWEPI has 137 wells in regulatory inactive status. And I'll tell you what, that number would be much higher, but they sold off a bunch of leases and assets to a company called Rockdell Marcellus. And Rockdell Marcellus, who inherited wells from SWEPI and leases from SWEPI, well, guess what? Shocking to find that they have the second highest number of regulatory inactive status wells. So you have SWEPI at the mind-boggling number of 137 wells that they have in regulatory inactive status. And Rockdale comes in at number 2. Sweppy has 137. Rockdale buys Sweppy assets, inherits some of Sweppy's, and now Rockdale has 34. So let's put this in perspective. So if Sweppy had all of the wells before they assigned to Rockdale, they would have had 171 wells in regulatory inactive status. 171. But no, what happened is they've sold assets to Rockdale Marcellus. So Rockdale Marcellus is part of what they purchased or received from Chesapeake were these regulatory inactive status wells. So again, Sweppy has 137 regulatory inactive status wells. Number 2 is the company that Sweppy sold a bunch of assets to and leases to, Rockdale. Number 2, Sweppy 1 at 137. Rockdale is number 2. You may say, well, maybe what's that, 100? No, they're second place with 34 regulatory inactive status wells. So that would be in probably almost all in Tioga County. That's 171 regulatory inactive status wells. Well, let me give you a contrast. Let's take Cabot Oil and Gas. Now, these are just facts. They're just facts. Cabot Oil and Gas, I have the sheet of all the operators. Interestingly, Cabot Oil and Gas has zero regulatory inactive status wells. Zero. Sweppy, 137. Cabot, 0. How about Chesapeake? You know, they're a prolific driller. They have all of these leases across Pennsylvania. At one time, I'm not sure now if they hold the most, but hold more acreage than anyone at one point, but holds a lot of acreage. Holds a lot of acreage. Well, Doug, how many regulatory inactive wells does Chesapeake? I'm getting a 3 blood pressure, but I may have to take another one. So let me go. Chesapeake, how many do they have? Regulatory inactive status wells, again, Sweppy 137. Rockdale, who got a bunch of Sweppy wells, has 34. And then we go to Chesapeake, has a grand total of 15. 15 compared to Sweppy's 137. Now, EOG, I believe is formerly Exxon. How many do they have? 10. That's it. Southwestern, drilling all over the place, very active and active in certain areas of Tioga County and very active in Susquehanna and other places. SWN, Southwestern. SWN, Southwestern. 14. Sweppy, 137. Southwestern, 14. Sweppy, 137. Chesapeake, 15. Sweppy, 137. Cabot, 0. This is why I need to take blood pressure pills, because of this garbage and what they're doing to the Tioga County landowner. In my opinion, this is outrageous. And look, the numbers, I don't think I'm wrong. How is this not outrageous? How does Cabot drill, produce gas, does all this work, and has no regulatory inactive status wells? How does Chesapeake, which has all kinds of acreage in Bradford County, Susquehanna County, and other places leased, why do they only have 15? And Sweppy has 137. And that is after they sold assets and leases and well sites to Rockdale Marcellus, which now Rockdale has 34. So combining Sweppy and Rockdale in Tioga County, there may be some spillover, but I think this is all in Tioga County. There is 171 wells placed into regulatory inactive status. And again, this show is all opinion, not specific advice, but I'm going to give you this opinion. That is wrong. It is outrageous, and it must stop. And I'm telling you, I am going to do everything I can to stop it. So I want you to do this. Listen to this commercial break, and I'll be right back. And again, I may take another pill when I'm in the break. And listen, I'm not advocating anyone else do this. I just need to get through this show because this is garbage and we got to stop it. Again, listen to this commercial. You're listening to All Things Marcellus with me, Attorney Doug Clark of the Clark Law Firm. Give me a call. If you have 100 acres or more and you're shut in Tioga County and you're not receiving royalties and you've been shut in for 8 years or more, I do free, no obligation, no cost evaluation to let you know if I think you have a claim to terminate your lease. I don't want to be too salesman-y, but the truth is you have nothing in the world to lose and potentially a new lease to gain. So give me a call. I want to look at every one of these. I really, really do. 570-307-0702. 570-307-0702. Call me for any oil and gas issue. But if you have that, again, shut in for 8 years or more and have over 100 acres and are not receiving royalties, call me today and let me give you an evaluation, and then you can do whatever you want going forward. But we have to stop it. Call me 570-307-0702. And again, stay tuned for this commercial break. Welcome back to All Things Marcellus with me, Attorney Doug Clark of the Clark Law Firm. Make sure you join me each and every week at this time on this station for All Things Marcellus. And if you missed the first segment, you miss any show, you can go back to the websites, and you should be visiting the websites for information. Again, the show is always general information, never specific advice. Same thing with the websites. But become informed, become educated. Go to the websites. Go to the websites, listen to prior radio shows. pagasleaseattorney.com. Go to pipelineattorney.com. As I say all the time, if you have a pipeline agreement, if you're offered an agreement and you're not going to pipelineattorney.com and just reading up, learn things, you're making a mistake, in my opinion. I'd love to hear from you, too. I've represented people with pipeline negotiations, reviews, consultations with over 70 different pipeline companies or companies involved with pipelines across the entire state of Pennsylvania. So give me a call, learn about representation. Remember, if you're in Tioga County, you're shut in for 8 years or more, have 100 acres or more, give me a call. I do a free, and you're not getting royalties, I do a free consultation and evaluation with those individuals. Again, over 100 acres, shut in 8 years or more, and you're in Tioga County because that's where this is occurring. Give me a call if you have 100 acres or more, again, not receiving royalties, and I want to do a free, no obligation, no cost, no strings, no nothing evaluation to let you know whether I feel you have a claim, and then you can decide how you want to move forward, or I'll let you know, hey, here's what I think about this. Take advantage of it, okay? Take advantage of it. I want to do it. And if the answer is no good, hey, the answer is not you have a claim. You don't have a claim. Whatever it is, it is. But for those people, 100 acres or more, and you have been shut in for 8 years or more, and you're not getting royalties, call my office, 570-307-0702. Again, I'll give you a second to write this down. Call me, 570-307-0702, and call for any and all oil and gas representation. As I say, put down the pen, pick up the phone, call my office. I would love to hear from you, see if we can help you. A great way to start, reviews and consultations. They only take an hour or two, but we got to get you information. Don't be afraid. Pick up the phone, 570-307-0702. So now, I got to get ready again here. Back to this shut-in. Good news, bad news. Doctor says apparently taking 4 blood pressure pills, it doesn't help. So I just took a half an extra one then. So I'm ready to go again. And bottom line is I am fired up. I'm always going to be fired up until this stops. And what terrifies me is I have a very sneaky suspicion of how the companies are going to try to get around this. And when I say companies, I especially mean Sweppy. So what are we talking about? In case you're joining us new, the shut-in wells in Tioga County. Shut-in wells. And what's happening is people signing leases from the year 2000 and maybe even earlier, but through 2010, find themselves with all these wells drilled between typically 2008 and 2011, holding them. And year after year, the company just pays these $5, maybe even $1, but typically $5 per acre as a shut-in payment and continuously extends your lease. And I am telling you that I am unbelievably confident that in many cases, the contract and the Pennsylvania law does not allow that to occur. But if you just sit there, receive your check for $5 an acre, cash your check, $5 an acre, next year receive your check, cash the check, do nothing, well, let's see how long that goes. Or you say, listen, I'm fed up with this. I signed a contract in the early 2000s, 2000 to 2006, let's say. And I've been shut in now for 7, 8, 9 years. And I've never received a royalty. So imagine you signed in 2001 and say you had a 10-year lease and went to 2011. Now you get up to 2019 and you're going to go into 2020. That's literally 19, 20 years of getting nothing, not one single gas royalty payment. And now you're getting shut in. And if you just sit there and keep taking it, I don't know when it's ever going to change. So we're going to stop it. We're going to stop it, and that's why I want to hear from you. Look, I have clients in and currently probably have clients in almost every gas-producing county in Pennsylvania, or at least have in the past. I have clients all over the state. I don't see this anywhere. What I see in Tioga County with these shut-in wells and just holding old leases with super friendly terms to the company, just holding them year after year by making these shut-in payments. And we have to stop it, and we're going to do everything we can to do that. And I'm confident that we are. But I'll tell you what, here's what's going to happen. This will happen. Mark my words, I am convinced of this. These companies, Sweppy, Rockdale now, because they inherited some of these or purchased some of these Sweppy leases and property leases with these vertical shut-in wells or shut-in wells in general, the companies know that they're flirting with the law, with the edge of what they can possibly do. They have concern about that. They know. So what are they going to do, guys? Listen every week. You hear me talk. What are they going to do? I would love to hear if anyone says it out loud here. They will approach you with lease amendment modifications and ratifications. Ratification. Ratification. Remember that. Ratification. So they come to you. Hey, Mr. Smith, you've been a great guy. We're so sorry. The market went down. Times were tough. We weren't able to drill. We drilled this well. Well, you know why that well was drilled, just to hold you. So now we feel bad that we haven't produced any gas, and we're really good guys, and we feel really bad because we're such good guys. So here's what we're gonna do: we want to give you $300 an acre, $100 an acre, $500 an acre. We want to give you some kind of money just because we're good guys. That's the only reason why, because we're such great guys. No, that's not the only reason why. That actually has nothing in the world to do with it. Nothing at all. Beware of the good guy statement. If somebody tells you, comes to your house, knocks on your door, says, we're good guys, red flags should come up. Pens should be removed. Do not pick up a pen. Remove pens from your house. If they come to you and say they're a good guy and we want to give you a free $100 to $500 or whatever it is per acre, and we want you to just sign this document, I want you to say, well, sir, in reading this, or ma'am, in reading this document, I see you have a lease ratification paragraph in here. I see you have a paragraph that says, when I sign this, I acknowledge that your lease is now valid and that you haven't breached it and everything is okay for you to drill. So they come, we're super nice guys. We feel bad. We're going to give you some money. Or, hey, we're super nice guys. We feel bad we haven't drilled. Now we want to drill. But before we do, we'd like to get you to sign this paperwork, and then we're going to drill and you're going to be a millionaire. Because you heard that one before, right? Well, why do they need you to sign a paper? Well, the paper they want you to sign look at it, because I will guarantee you there is going to be a paragraph in there, sentences in there that talk about ratification. Ratification, meaning bringing that lease, saying that it is ratified, it is good, and it is valid. And you need to know that you should not be signing those documents. General advice. You do not want to sign an amendment, modification, ratification without getting assistance, and make sure you understand what you're signing, because I am in a case now, a huge case, where I have no doubt in my mind that this lease terminated. No doubt in my mind. But the company had some people sign ratifications. Older people, in this particular case, probably didn't understand what they were signing. I don't want to get too detailed. But now in court say, oh, well, they ratified it. Even though it might have terminated, it was ratified. And then they drilled. Well, yeah, if those people would have called me and I would have talked to them before that, I would have said, look, they have no lease. There is no lease. You're not going to sign this ratification to say that they have a valid lease, because you can negotiate for more money. And at the time, that payment could have been well over $1 million in a bonus payment in this case. But the company says, well, you signed a ratification. Ratifications are deadly, can be deadly for you, the landowner, because you're saying that they're not in breach. And again, why are they doing this? Because they know if you're given this document, the company knows that there's a good chance they don't have a lease. Or at minimum, they're afraid they don't have a lease. And I am telling you, that's true. If you get a modification, amendment, a ratification, they are afraid they don't have a lease. Or worse, they know they don't. But to get you to sign it, now you're stuck. You may be stuck under that old lease, miss out on new bonus, miss out on new royalty, and that's a whole lot of money that the company's going to make with you having 12.5% minimum royalty, no more bonus, and deductions of every kind possible. You can understand why companies will want to go out there and say, hey, we're really nice guys. Here's a document. We want to drill next year, and we're going to really get into it now. The prices are coming better. Drilling techniques are better. Here. I have a pen. Oh, yeah, and I'm a notary too. So here, you can go ahead and sign it. Put that pen down. Pick up the phone. Call me, 570-307-0702, or call someone else. But my God, please call somebody who knows what they're doing. I want to represent every person I can to the best of my ability in every case. But if you don't call me, please call somebody who knows what they're doing, who can identify why this is occurring, and identify the type of case you have for a potential new lease, a brand new lease with new bonus money, probably a higher royalty percent, which will result in tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, and no joke, literally into the millions of dollars, depending upon the acreage. You're listening to All Things Marcellus with me, Attorney Doug Clark of the Clark Law Firm. Join me each and every week at this time on this station, and call me any oil and gas representation, shut-in situation, 570-307-0702. And again, if you're just joining, why is he so fired up? Because I printed out. We have, and I'm going to read it again, so there's no question about this. This is the DEP Office of Oil and Gas Management, wells drilled by operator, from the Pennsylvania Department of Environmental Protection's website, printed on July 17, 2019 at 2:08 p.m. in the afternoon, and it shows us. It has a list of the operators and drillers with wells in regulatory inactive status. And what do we have? We have SWEPI, Tioga County, 137 wells in regulatory inactive status. The next closest, again, Tioga County, Rockdale Marcellus. Now, in fairness to Rockdale, they purchased assets and leases from SWEPI, many of which, unfortunately, had shut-in wells in regulatory inactive status. So again, this report shows SWEPI, as of July 17, 2019 at 2:08 p.m., had 137 regulatory inactive status wells. They sold assets, partial assets, to Rockdale, who now has 34 regulatory inactive status wells. Again, SWEPI 137, Rockdale 34. Chesapeake, in all of their areas, they have a grand total of 15. EOG Resources, grand total 10. Southwestern, SWN, grand total 14. SWEPI 137. I can't repeat this enough. I really, really can't. I am outraged at this, and you should be too if you're a person who's impacted like this. SWEPI, 137 regulatory inactive status wells as per the report of July 17, 2019. The next closest is Rockdale at 34. So you drop literally 103 before you get to the next closest. And Rockdale, I believe, got all of these regulatory inactive status they inherited from SWEPI. So right there in Tioga County, we have 171 regulatory inactive status wells. Again, that is outrageous. It is totally outrageous, and it has to stop. When you consider that, look at these again, the other companies, Chesapeake, 15. Cabot, 0. They don't even show up on the list. We have to stop it, and I'm telling you that I believe that many of these leases, I personally believe that many of these leases are dead. And if they're not dead, many of them very well may be, and there's a significant question, and that's why companies will approach people in Tioga County with documents, and they are, again, smart. They listen to the show. So they're going to keep, they say, oh, well, he's alerting everyone maybe of amendment, modification, and ratification. So we'll have to call it something different maybe. So I can't tell you what it's going to come to you as, but I can tell you, you'll see that ratification phrase in there. And if you ever do anything, study, study, study. But if you listen to the show, you'll know that you're not signing anything. You're going to get information. You're going to understand it. And that knock on a door with an amendment, ratification, or anything that has a ratification in it could be an amazing opportunity for you. And you need to be able to identify it and take advantage of it. And one way you can't go wrong is putting the pen down and picking up the phone. Give us a call, 570-307-0702, or call someone else, but call someone who knows what they're doing. I represent a bunch of people in Tioga County, and I want to stop this, and I want to hear from you because this is outrageous. And again, you don't see it anywhere else. I'm going to talk more about this. I'm up against it. Remember, stay tuned during the breaks here. I'll be right back. You're listening to All Things Marcellus with me, Doug Clark. Join me each and every week at this time on this station. I'll be right back. Welcome back to All Things Marcellus with me, Attorney Doug Clark of the Clark Law Firm. Remember, I've been doing this show since 2010. I've been doing All Things Marcellus weekly radio show since 2010. I'm not stopping. We're going to keep going because we have to get this information out. And what people have to understand, too, is this oil and gas law and operations, this stuff is all evolving. We're learning as it goes. We're studying what are companies doing. How are they looking for loopholes in leases and pipeline contracts and manipulating them? And I am telling you what I see is companies relying on your complacency. People not getting information, not calling the Clark Law Firm or somebody who knows what they're doing. And so they go out, they get people to sign, again, come out with a promise of, hey, now we're going to do something. Now we're going to do it. And hey, you know what? We're really good guys. So here's some money and here's a document to sign, and we're going to start drilling. Again, never sign something unless you fully understand what the heck is going on. That is specific advice for everybody. You can't be signing documents that you don't know what they mean. And I'm telling you, I'm giving you the clues, what to look for. People saying, we want to get you royalties. So here, sign this. Hey, you haven't received royalties in a while and we feel bad and we're nice guys. Yeah, right. Here, sign this. Those are tip-offs. Or if you see a document and you see anywhere in it the word ratification, they often will appear in headlines, meaning the top part of the document will be called a modification, ratification, or even a ratification. But I suspect as we go forward, as people become more informed and understand the potential issues that a ratification can create for them and how signing a ratification in cases can literally cost people, in certain cases, hundreds of thousands and into the millions of dollars. So I suspect they'll start to couch that ratification language deeper inside the actual body of the agreement or the contract you're given and not at the top. But you're smart. We're going to look for it. But bigger than anything, we know we're not going to sign anything. We're going to put our pens down. We can listen to have what they say. And then we're going to pick up the phone and call Doug Clark, 570-307-0702. Or maybe we call someone else, but we call someone who knows what they're doing, who works for the landowner and the gas right owner. That's what you need to do, because these ratifications can literally be the difference between getting a new lease for a new bonus, typically say $1,500, maybe higher, 15% typical, but maybe higher. And so you would have more royalties, more bonus, a bigger bonus check. And if you have a lot of acreage, I am telling you, there can be millions of dollars of difference if you sign the ratification or you pick up the phone and give us a call and we look at it and I'll explain it to you and we'll see what you have. Because again, if you're just joining and if you're listening the whole time, I'm telling you, I have to beat these numbers into everyone's head. I have to. Again, the DEP Office of Oil and Gas Management, wells drilled by operator, the report from 7/17/2019. I printed this off at 2:08 p.m. and 22 seconds. In my hand, regulatory inactive status wells. We go to Cabot. Their name doesn't appear here, so apparently they have 0 regulatory inactive status wells. Major producer. 0 regulatory inactive status wells. Well, then, let's go to Range Resources. They're out in the western part of the state. They're a big producer. How many regulatory inactive status wells do they have? 4. Cabot 0, Range 4. Let's go to Repsol, formerly Fortuna. Big driller. I deal with Repsol all the time. Regulatory inactive status wells for Repsol, 6. Cabot 0, Range 4, Repsol 6. Let's go to EOG, another big company driller. EOG, regulatory inactive status well total, 10. Let's go to Chesapeake, huge driller, low kinds of leases. Chesapeake, regulatory inactive status, 15. So let me just highlight that again. We go Cabot, 0, Range 4, Repsol 6, EOG 10, Chesapeake 15. Let's just jump right to Sweppy. Sweppy 137. You heard that right. Cabot has 0, Range has 4, Repsol has 6, EOG has 10, Chesapeake has 15, and Sweppy LP has 137. And that's why I have to take extra blood pressure pills, because people aren't doing anything about this, and we need to. And I am telling you that this is my number one goal. As a lawyer, if I can look back and say that I busted this junk up and was able to make sure that people got new royalty, got new leases, and got royalties, and got paid like they should have, I'll be a very, very happy and proud person, because I want to break this up. But I need help, and that's why I offer for anybody who's been shut in for 8 years or more, has 100 acres or more, and is not receiving royalties, give me a call. I will do a free, no obligation review, and I'll let you know whether I feel. You send me your lease. I'll look up the drilling history and everything on my own. I usually do these on the weekends, and I want to identify for you if you have a claim or if you don't have a claim, and explain why and give you my opinion. Now, if you want to proceed, that's wonderful. I would love to proceed. If you don't, that's okay too. But I want this information out there to everybody. And I'll tell you, I know the companies don't, but we need to get it out there. It is wrong, in my opinion, and I don't even know, I just say it's wrong. It is wrong that people in Tioga County, per this report, we have 137 SWEPI wells that have been placed in regulatory inactive status. And people, year after year, do not receive royalty payments, but only receive $5 or less per acre in shut-in payments. That's wrong. And I'm telling you, it's not happening like that across Pennsylvania. That's a problem. Then you have the second most from this report is Rockdale Marcellus, who, in fairness to them, and I got to say, there's a lot of things about Rockdale I got to say I like. If you have a lease offer from Rockdale, quick side note, give me a call, 570-307-0702. Rockdale lease offer, give me a call, 570-307-0702. I mean it. I really like some of the things that they're agreeing to, and we've been able to do really nice leases with Rockdale. So I'll say that, and again, I'm always going to say the truth. And here's what happened, though. Rockdale purchased assets and leases from SWEPI. Well, in that, they also got some of these wells that were just regulatory inactive status, shut in, and not producing gas. So think about this. I went through those numbers. Cabot 0, Range 4, Repsol 6, Chief 15 regulatory inactive status wells. SWEPI 137, and Rockdale, who inherited wells from SWEPI, has 34. So I believe all those 34 that Rockdale has that show in this report used to all be held by SWEPI. So when that was the case, if that was the case as of July 17th and SWEPI held them all, that's 171 wells. 171 wells in regulatory inactive status. So even though SWEPI has 137 and Rockdale has 34, essentially right there in Tioga County, and I believe these are all in Tioga, you have 171 wells in regulatory inactive status. And those wells just don't hold 171 parcels. They hold units of property, generally 500-600 acres or more, by these garbage, I call them garbage, shut-in wells that I question whether they're ever going to produce from. And we need to stop it. Remember, how many does Cabot have? 0. How many does Chesapeake have? 15. How many does SWEPI have? 137. How many do we know for sure? Or we believe, well, how many are in Tioga County that we know are shut in? Well, just SWEPI and Rockdale alone, that's 171 wells that were voluntarily placed into regulatory inactive status, which are also simultaneously capped and not producing gas, and you're not getting royalties. That, again, is outrageous. So call me. I want to do an evaluation. If you have 800 acres or more, remember, 800 acres or more, not receiving royalties, and have been shut in for 8 years or more, I want to hear from you. I really want to hear from you. And look, I said I'm holding this report. I have another report. I want to go through this a little bit when we get back in the last segment. This is the DEP Office of Oil and Gas Management Operator Well Inventory Report. So again, DEP Office of Oil and Gas Management Operator Well Inventory Report. And what this does is it goes through, and I have SWEPI all printed out here, and it's amazing. It's a lot of paper because there's a lot of regulatory inactive status wells. I'm going to talk more about this, but we'll just look. So here, the Butler 127D spud date was drilled in September. It started to drill September 6th in 2008. It's a vertical well, and it's held in regulatory inactive status. The Butler 127D. It's the Butler 127D was drilling. The spud date of this vertical well was September 6th, 2008. No royalties. We're going to talk more about that. I'll be right back. Remember, keep listening to All Things Marcellus each and every week at this time on this station with me, Attorney Doug Clark. Stay tuned for this message and give us a call. Any oil and gas representation, 570-307-0702. And remember, I have not, do not, and will not work for a gas or pipeline company. I work for you. I'll be right back. Welcome back to All Things Marcellus with me, Attorney Doug Clark of the Clark Law Firm. Remember to join me each and every week at this time on this station for All Things Marcellus, and visit the websites if you want to listen to today's show, any other show for the past several years. Even though I've been doing it since 2010, we have, I think, a couple years of the prior shows on the website. You can go to the websites at pagasleaseattorney.com, pipelineattorney.com. I do a lot of pipeline work. And remember, I'm talking about these shut-ins today, and rightfully so. But remember, I represent landowners and oil and gas right owners, only them, for all items related to oil and gas. So whatever the issue is, and regardless of your location, I have clients in Washington County, Greene County, Allegheny County, Westmoreland County, and Armstrong County, all right now, which is in the western part of the state, the most southwestern part of the state. I probably have more active clients in Tioga now, in Tioga County, than any other place. So don't be afraid. Give us a call and see if we can help. If I can help you, great. If you feel after you call, hey, I don't know if they can help, that's okay too. But just get information. Get information. And I'm telling you guys, my general advice is get specific information, because you may be missing out. You really may be on a ton of benefit, a lot of money. Property restrictions, pipelines, they all can be negotiated. So don't miss out. And I preach the reviews and consultations so much. And what that is if you have any contract and you want me to review it and we'll do a consultation, I'll talk to you about it, tell you the good, the bad, what to expect, your leverage, all of these things. You can do that, and it usually takes about 1 to 2 hours. And what's involved is you send me your contract, what you need reviewed, and then it will identify if there's anything else I need to review. I'll look at drilling history, look at things, and then we will get on the phone, or you can always come in person. But I've done these with people in the state of Washington, California, Alaska, Micronesia, Canada, Europe, or Great Britain. I've done them all over. So just the idea of, and let me tell you this too, I don't care if you have 1 acre or if you have 1,000+ acres. I want to help you. So learn about this, and the review and consultation, again, great way to start. I do so many of them, and they've just been proven a great way to start. I will tell you what you need to know. I will answer your questions, and then you decide if, hey, maybe that may be all you need. Maybe you want to have me work for you further. Whatever the case may be. Maybe you're ready to sign then after that. But we need to get you that information so you know that you're not getting taken advantage of, and you may not be leaving hundreds of thousands or literally even millions of dollars on the table that you could have received if you understood your situation. And as I say with these reviews and consultations, the worst thing that can happen is you have all your questions answered, you understand what you're signing, and you spent 2 hours of time and money with an attorney. That's typically 2 hours or less. But that's the worst thing that can happen. So I'm telling you, give us a call, learn about that service. I've never had a complaint yet, and so I really encourage you, give us a call, and let's see if we can help you out and get you on the right track, answer your questions, and make sure you're not getting taken advantage of, because we know that the company, Landman, works for the company, not you, and you need somebody working for you. So give me a call, 570-307-0702, 570-307-0702, and keep listening to All Things Marcellus each and every week. So let me get back to this. Talking about these shut-in wells. And again, look, if you can't tell who my Sweppy, 137 regulatory inactive status wells reported by DEP Office of Oil and Gas Management for wells drilled by operator for Sweppy LP, regulatory inactive status wells, 137. Again, outrageous. So the people are just getting shut-in checks and are not seeing gas production. And I have in my hand, too, a printout. And there's a lot of pages to this because there's a lot of shut-in wells involved. But let me just say, here's some examples. The Butler 127D spud date means commencement of drilling, September 6, 2008. September 6, 2008, over 10 years ago. Nope, it's in regulatory inactive status. Baker 128D, that was spudded on September 15, 2008. Benson 130D, spudded November 17, 2008. Kennedy 137D, spudded August 22nd, 2008. Hackman 143D, spud date December 6, 2008. Stevens 142D, spud date November 28, 2008. Again, that's page one. There's a bunch of these pages. Then we go, oh, this one's really new. Courtney H 2552H, spud date June 1st, 2009. Brown 425 1H, spud date November 20th, 2009. Willard 419 1H, November 12th, 2009, spud date. The Stemmer 420 1H, spud date October 23rd, 2009. Oldroyd 509 5H, spud date 11/25, 2009, so November. Fishwell Fish 826 1V, September 12th, 2010, shut in. This page, these go on and on and on. This is literally the pages of these. Literally the pages of these. I'm on, I don't know what number. I'm on page 9 of, oh, here, 18 pages I printed. I'm on page 9. Let's see what the spud dates were. Page 9. Top of page 9, the Kelky 819 vertical well. Spud date September 19, 2010. That's on page 9 of what I printed on July 17, 2009 at 2:42 p.m. and 46 seconds from the DEP Office of Oil and Gas Management Operator Well Inventory Report demonstrates that on page 9 of 18 pages that I printed related to SWEPI, that we have the first entry, the Kelky 819 vertical well was spudded on September 19, 2010. Next one down, Baker 897 1V, spud date September 15, 2010. So that's on page 9 of the report. That's on page 9. So now let me go out to, all right, let's get crazy. Say, hey, Doug, well, what are you talking about? Let's go to page 16. Page 16 of 18. So this is all regulatory inactive wells of SWEPI. This is page 16. Cabot wouldn't have any pages. Chesapeake would probably have one, or maybe two. Maybe two. Let me take that back. So, okay, on page 16 of 18 of what I printed on July 17, 2019, and again, I just wanted to get this perfectly accurate at 2:42 p.m. and 46 seconds from the PA DEP Office of Oil and Gas Management Operator Well Inventory Report. On page 16 of 18, the first entry is the Appold well, the Appold F493, and that well has a spud date of November 10, 2011, and it's in regulatory inactive status. Regulatory inactive status. So my point is that these wells were drilled 2008, 9, 10, and 11 mostly. And they're in regulatory inactive status. And again, that's wrong. SWEPI, regulatory inactive status wells, Tioga, 137. Cabot, 0. Chesapeake, across the state, 15. Repsol, across the state, 6. Range Resources, 4. Southwestern, 14. SWEPI, 137. Rockdale, 34. No one else is close to 137. And if SWEPI didn't sell to Rockdale, talk about not close, wouldn't even be remotely close. So give me a call. This has got to stop. And keep listening. I'm up against it. Give me a call, 570-307-0702 for any oil and gas related representation. Remember, free reviews, consultations for anybody who has 100 acres or more and has been shut in for 8 years or more and is not receiving royalties. Give me a call when I help you. Remember, the landman works for the company, not you, the landowner. Put down the pen, pick up the phone, stop signing bad agreements. Call the Clark Law Firm, 570-307-0702. And remember, have a wonderful, wonderful week, everyone. I'll see you next week.